So he has to be very watchful of his steps, because if he wants to have a accommodation, a big accommodation, or even if a small accommodation, whether it is government or not, it is not a matter. The question is the way he's projecting his image is different, and the way he's delivering is totally different. And that has to be, and that is being seen by the public at large, and people are realizing it now, that his constant and consistent U-turns, that is something really not so surprising, because what he has promised is so big that everybody knows that the government is not a charity shop, and that is what the Honorable President also talked about. The question here is, when he is asking a Lieutenant Governor to issue him a government flat which is big size, the measurement which has been told by Arnab, why he has to say this? He could have just said that we are looking for a government accommodation. As a Chief Minister, kindly, issue me something which is most appropriate and which is most easily sought for. But he has to specify everything, and now he got the bungalows, and now he's again taking a U-turn, he's not answering. It's something we cannot take it very lightly. It has to be really, put into the public domain. That
no,
is
you
this
find
what
this unusual?
was talking about?
Is this unusual? Medha Patkar, is this unusual? No, you see, this is not an issue about whether a Chief Minister should live in a bungalow, should live in 2 bungalows, or should live in 3 bungalows, or have 20,000 square feet of lawns. If Arvind Kejriwal wants a lot of lawns, wants 2 big houses, wants to live in a big way, do what you want. But don't claim to be otherwise. Don't say, I want the houses, somebody identified it for me. I mean, I have the letters to prove he wanted the houses. He wanted 2 specific, big, massive bungalows of the size that even many cabinet ministers and Supreme Court judges don't have.
That's strange that he...
See, Arnab,
Miss Medha Patkar,
because after all, yes, I'm saying don't get so excited about this small little thing. It is not that small if it comes
why is it a small little thing? No, why is it a small little thing? No, why? Because you can because you see, when you have come to power, Miss Medha Patkar, you've come to power saying I am against the Lal Batti culture. You've come to power saying we will not live in bungalows.
See, the bungalows, yes, but maybe they have realized that it is more expensive for the government to search for the flats otherwise, while there are so many bungalows already lying. So that much difference may be there in this statement. Just give me 2 minutes and I will be gone out of the show, because I'm not boycotting Times now, but I realize now why they are boycotting it partly. I'm only saying that...
Why is that? Is it because taking straight questions is difficult, Miss Patkar? Miss Patkar, explain this to me. Explain this intolerance to me. Explain this culture of intolerance to me, Miss Patkar. Miss Patkar, on January 4th, Arvind Kejriwal said... Yes, but Miss Patkar, I'll ask you one question. I'm telling you one question. Miss Patkar,
that's all I want.
Miss Patkar, I'll ask you a straight question. You a straight question. Tell me your view. When I asked questions to the Congress party, right, when we exposed scams, all of you sat and applauded. You said, great job, good journalism. When we questioned the BJP and questioned Yediyurappa, you stood and applauded. You said, great journalism. Arvind Kejriwal says, great journalism. Today, when we are asking a party which by its own admission says Caesar's wife, like Caesar's wife, we have to be above suspicion. We have to subject ourselves to scrutiny. When we subject the Aam Aadmi party to scrutiny, they boycott us. And you two say, great. Boycott a party, boycott a channel that asks you straight questions. So what do you want, Miss Medha Patkar? You want a platform? You believe that journalism should be there only to give political parties a platform? How different... In fact, how different is the Aam Aadmi party in that case from any political party? Please explain this culture of intolerance, Ms. Medha Patkar, because it defeats me. I simply cannot understand it.
Arnab, you are so different otherwise. Viewers would understand what I mean. I would only say that if there are straight questions, you please take straight answers. And I am not against the media criticism. And I feel they would make a mistake if Aam Aadmi Party or Arvind Kejriwal, which I am not there to own everything that they say, but I think they would make a mistake if they discriminate amongst the media. That's my viewpoint, my organization's viewpoint. Coming to that straight question, whether on Khap Panchayat or on his bungalows, I think the only small things are small and big are big. But the big bungalows have big lawn. Otherwise, the two bungalows are still smaller than one bungalow of Sheila Dikshit or the other chief ministers. And I think they have coming to some consensus on whether the second bungalow is on the work as a workplace they want it or not. Leave it to them. Leave it to them. And you have every right and we have every right to criticize what they are doing. I'm not against that, but I think maybe, I don't know, I'm not discussing with them all these things. What worries more is what is their position on the FDI, what is their position on the labor issues, what is their position on the displacement and development issues. That is the concern for me. But here the concern is
and their position on India's Taliban, and their position on India's Taliban.
I would appeal to them that they should come to a certain code of conduct which would go even beyond the Delhi government, and this is the best time because so many assemblies and parliament elections are upcoming. And I would also say that don't take any unreasonable position or unrealistic position as far as certain concessions and requirements of the chief minister or the government. At the same time, I agree with Arun Bhatia that lavish style doesn't merely mean a large-scale bungalow or a large-scale lawn. And you cannot cut the lawn and break it to
But then you change your position.
And if the another bungalow
but then you change your position.
So let them decide that, and you have every right to criticize.
Miss Medha Patkar, I don't care, as I said, if Arvind Kejriwal chooses to make a replica of Buckingham Palace and live in it. I don't care. Maybe some people will object. I'll say, okay, maybe that's the way he wants to live. But Arvind Kejriwal did not fight the election telling the people that I will live in bungalows. In fact, he fought the election saying I will not live in bungalows. His number 2 says we will not live in bungalows. You have a manifesto in which you say how we are different, in which you say we will not live in opulent, luxurious government housing. In 42 hours of being elected, I have proof that you want not one but 2 specific bungalows. And I'm asking you, Ms. Medha Patkar, should I not get a clear answer from the Aam Aadmi party on this? Just as should I not get a clear answer from the Aam Aadmi party why they support India's Taliban? It is expected for a political party to answer, Ms. Patkar.
We owe an explanation for them, and I think it is their right and their duty to do that. But I think even if they have changed the stand, they should say it so. And if the change of stand is because the other houses are costlier, then that also can be justified. And if they are going to use the second bungalow as the workplace, let them say so. I just finished this answer from my side. Let the discussion
I don't want to labour the point. No, Ms. Medha Patkar, see. Ms. Medha Patkar, you are not seeking the bungalow, so I can't labour the point with you. You are not the person. But all I'm saying is that if you are going to be sanctimonious about it, my view, if you are going to be sanctimonious about it and lecture the whole world about women's rights, then you should take a position against India's Taliban. When someone asks you about it, you can't be sanctimonious in response. When you have come to power saying we will not live in government housing and you choose to live in bungalows as has been proven, you can't then say now we're going to boycott channels that ask us these kind of questions and only go to channels that give us a platform. That's, in my view, that's not appropriate. But Siddharth wanted to contradict you there. Siddharth, yes please. No.
Well, Arnab, I just wanted to make a quick point here. After listening to Medha Patkar, ma'am, let me complete the chance has been given to us. So, Ms. Medha Patkar is making a defense for the Aam Aadmi or for Arvind Kejriwal. It definitely beats us, with that kind of an argument. But let me take it a little further because it is basically not on the living in a Luton bungalow or not. The issue is the number of U-turns or the promises he made to show that he is different and he will not agree to anything which is VIP, whether it is the police, whether it is the car, whether it is Luton bungalows. But the issue when you are raising and you have exposed them is basically one, is there is a U-turn, and the second, Arnab, it is try and understand the day he was sworn in, he made a statement that I may go within 48 hours. Now, if you as a chief minister is living on a day-to-day basis and accusing others, so why should you even think about having a bungalow?
No. Amrita, before I wrap up, I have 2 minutes. Amrita, Arun Bhatia says bungalows not lavish living, but what's the real issue here in your view?
No, the real issue is that if
I think,
when
first of
we're
all,
talking
I
about
agree
the
with
government
you.
accommodations, the whole campaign of Aam Aadmi Party was against all these lavish, living style and these big bungalows, and that's how they came to the power. And now I want to, really mention this here. We have Oscar Fernandez ji, we have Meenakshi Natarajan, we have Mr. A.K. Antony ji. They are so simple living kind of people, and they are so accessible to people. They are living in government accommodation, but that kind of austerity is not seen by the, Aam Aadmi Party. But they started targeting the other kind of issues, and they're trying to create a perception which they have succeeded in. But now they are failing in every terms of theirs. Whether it is any promise you talk about water, whether it is power, whether it is government accommodation, I'm just saying that as a chief minister, he's entitled to these perks and privileges, and there is no harm in having a government accommodation. The question here is that the next day itself, you're writing a document addressing to Lieutenant Governor and saying that we want this kind of a bungalow which can accommodate, which can have 5 rooms and all the big measurements which you said. And that is something really strange, and I think people who are watching this show are realizing this, the kind of a big thing through which he came in power, he's failing into that every day.
The question is not, the question is not your right to live life king size when you become chief minister. If you want to live life king size, by all means do, but then don't lecture the people of this country about on some other level, or then get all sanctimonious when you're asked questions about it. That empty chair stays. Whenever the Aam Aadmi Party wants to, it can send its representative there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight.